In this video, we're going to work about 30 fill-in-the-blank problems from Chapter 1. So Chapter 1 is on equations and inequalities. Going through these questions will help to cement the main terms, definitions, and concepts that we covered in this chapter. Okay, if D is equal to RT, then what does T equal to? Well, if we divide both sides by R, T is equal to D over R. If D is equal to R times T, then R is equal to, well, if we divide both sides by T, then R is equal to D over T. A blank equation is an equation in which each term contains a rational expression. Each term contains a rational expression. That's a rational equation. The equation m to the 2/3 power plus 10 times n to the 1/3 power plus 9 is equal to 0 is said to be in what kind of form? Because making the substitution u is equal to what results in a new equation that is quadratic. So this is in quadratic form. And it's just like the question is saying, because if you make a substitution, a simple substitution turns it into a quadratic equation. If we make the substitution that u is equal to m to the 1/3 power, we get u squared plus 10u plus 9 is equal to 0, which is a quadratic equation. A blank is an equation that is true for all values of the variable for which the expressions in the equation are defined. That's an identity, right? So like any number that you plug in that's within the domain of the variable, the unknown variable, the equation is satisfied. If a compound inequality consists of two inequalities joined by the word or, the solution set is the blank of the solution sets of the individual inequalities. The union, right? So when you think about sets, it's either going to be a union or an intersection of sets. Or means anything in set 1 and anything in set 2, or anything that's in both. If k is a positive real number, then the inequality, the absolute value of x is greater than k, is equivalent to, so okay, this is absolute value inequalities. This is one scenario where you have the absolute value of the function or x is greater than k. So this is equivalent to x is less than minus k, or x is greater than k. If u and w represent real valued expressions, then the equation absolute value of u is equal to the absolute value of w can be written in an equivalent form without absolute value bars as, so you would put u is equal to w or u is equal to minus w. If an equation has no solution, then the solution set is the what set and is denoted by, so this is the null set. And it's denoted by the square root property indicates that if x squared is equal to k, then x is equal to plus or minus the square root of k. Given ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, write the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula, that means that x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If a compound inequality consists of two inequalities joined by the word and, the solution set is the what of the solution sets of the individual inequalities, the intersection, so not the union, but the intersection of the sets of the solution sets of the individual inequalities. The value of n that would make the trinomial x squared plus 20x plus n a perfect square trinomial is what? So this is completing the square, right? To complete the square, you have to create a perfect square trinomial. So x plus a squared is equal to x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. So here 2a is equal to 20, so a is equal to 10. So if we had x squared plus 20x plus, and then put 100, right, because a squared, then we would have a perfect square trinomial. That would be x plus 10 squared. Given a complex number a plus bi, the value of a is called that's the real part of the complex number, and the value of b is called the imaginary part. The imaginary number I is defined so that I is equal to the square root of -1 and I squared is equal to -1. Right? That's the whole point, because before imaginary numbers, there was no number that when you square it is equal to a negative number. Consider the equation 4x squared plus 1 squared plus 4 times 4x squared plus 1 plus 4 is equal to 0. If the substitution of u is equal to what is made, then the equation becomes u squared plus 4u plus 4. Yeah, so if you say u is equal to 4x squared plus 1, then you turn that into a quadratic equation. The multiplication and division properties of inequality indicate that if both sides of an inequality are multiplied or divided by a negative real number, the direction of the inequality sign reverses. For a positive real number b, the value of the square root of negative b is equal to I square root of b. If k is a positive real number, then the inequality, the absolute value of x is less than k, is equivalent to, so this is just a compound and inequality. X is greater than minus k and x is less than k. A blank equation is a second degree equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation. An equation that can be written in the form ax plus b is equal to 0, where a and b are real numbers and a is not equal to 0, is called a linear equation in one variable. A blank equation is a first degree equation of the form ax plus b is equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0, a linear equation. A blank is an equation that is false for all values of the variable, a contradiction. If k is a positive real number, then the solution set to the inequality, the absolute value of x is greater than minus k, is, this is all real numbers. Everything is going to be greater than minus k, because this is always going to be positive. The compound inequality a is less than x and x is less than b can be written as the three-part inequality x is less than b and x is greater than a. A blank to an equation is the value of the variable that makes the equation a true statement. A solution. If k is a positive real number, then the solution set to the inequality, the absolute value of x is less than minus k. There is no solution, because everything is going to be greater than minus k, because this is always going to be a positive number.